This is the Initiates Podcast. Here, we create space to explore the path of initiation as we reawaken the forgotten wisdom that resides within us all. I am your host and guide, Natalie Grace. Join me every Thursday for an enlightening exploration of contemporary spirituality. It's my honour to journey with you. Hello, beautiful friends. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I have a very special message to share with you all. It's a channeled message that I received at the time of the solstice. It's a beautiful message that speaks to the true nature of light and also dark. So where I am in Australia, we just witnessed the summer solstice a few days ago. So there is a fair amount of focus on light and the nature of light in this message. However, it's also contrasted with the value of the dark. So for those in the Northern Hemisphere who've just gone through their longest night of the year, there's some wisdom held within this message for you too. It's a beautiful message. There's also some sage advice for navigating what can be a stressful time, Christmas and holidays, time with family, sometimes people you don't see that often. So there's some beautiful nuggets of wisdom in there for us all as we navigate through this transitional time as we close out the year and head into the new year. So I'm going to recite this message for you. If you are familiar with my method of channeling, I use automatic writing. So this was recorded in my journal during a meditation. So I'll be reciting that for you all. But first, I just wanted to do some reflecting and express some gratitude for all the beautiful souls who participated in the 2022 listener party that was live streamed on YouTube this week. We came together with a very gentle intention of sharing and celebrating. So sharing our lessons and our thoughts and our ideas, and also celebrating all the achievements, our biggest achievements of the year. And I just have to tell you, it was such a beautiful energy. It was my honor to hold this space for you guys. And it was just the beautiful blossoming of a new community. I have been witness to a number of different communities that have sprung out of podcasting. I think it's so powerful, and I think it's because when we listen to a podcast that we resonate with, we're receiving a frequency and we're resonating with that frequency, and it's extremely powerful. So it's my deepest belief that if you are drawn to listening to my voice speaking, then you'll also be drawn to others who share a similar frequency and resonate with me. I feel like it's my responsibility to create a space to help you all connect with one another. So it was really the first step with that, holding a little space in the spirit of kind of sharing and celebration to bring everyone together and just get us connected. And it was so much fun and so beautiful. We did so much sharing, and it was such a supportive energy that existed within that group and within that space. So I'm so inspired to keep this going. I asked the group if that's something they would like and how this could happen. And the consensus was a Telegram chat group would be amazing. So as my special holiday gift to you all, that is what I've created. I've created a new Telegram group specifically for the purposes of coming together, connecting, providing support to one another. Firstly, because I think we can all do some really powerful work But second, I understand that it can be quite a solitary path, the path of the initiate, and it would be so beautiful for us to be able to provide support to one another as we journey together. So that's what this group is going to do. Its theme is all about empowerment and insight, I think. It's going to be a space where everyone can contribute. I'm a part of some Telegram groups that are a bit more about broadcasting messages from the owner of the group. But for me, the most powerful groups I've been a part of are the ones that allowed pretty much uncensored chat. Real connections can be made in this format. I've experienced that firsthand. I've made some incredible friends through these kinds of groups in the virtual space. So it's really all for you guys. I'm really excited to contribute and facilitate this connection. I can't wait to see what kind of topics and insights are going to be shared. So really what I'm envisioning for this space is a space to ask questions and have different layers of insight, different perspective, not just coming from me, but other people we resonate with, to help broaden our understanding and our perception of reality, and also to challenge some of our held beliefs that perhaps need a bit of progression or evolution. It's a place to learn from one another, to expand together. I feel like there's probably a spirit of mentorship, perhaps, depending on the different levels of experience and wisdom held by the different members of the group. I know that there's people who follow this podcast who are incredible healers. So I see it as a space to share in healing just by being in the presence of each other's frequency, but even more so for anyone who wishes to exchange healing. I feel like this is a platform for you to do it and just provide support, really, to be able to share some of the more challenging experiences and have people listen who understand and can provide an ear to listen, I guess, and an empowering support. It's going to be a bit different from some of the Telegram groups I'm a part of that peddling conspiracy. I'm sure we'll all be open to that, but that's not really the purpose of this. It's to make connection. So I just want to make that intention clear. If this resonates with you, check the show notes. I've put the link to the Telegram group in there. If you are new to Telegram, you haven't used it before, you're not so confident with that platform, but you really want to be a part of this, please reach out to me. Send me an email, theinitiatespodcast@gmail.com, or hit me up on Instagram at theinitiatespodcast. Send me a voice note or send me a DM. Whatever is most comfortable for you. If you need some help getting onto the Telegram chat, I'll be more than happy to help you out. So I'm so happy and excited and honored to create that space for you guys and share it with you here today. I'm going to be promoting it in every episode going forward. So please jump on board and make some connections if you feel called and if you feel like the intention is in resonance with you. I really am starting to feel like community and connection is going to be a really big theme of 2023. I think I'm going to do some channeling around the energetic themes of 2023 once the new year arrives. So stay tuned for that. But definitely my own personal journey, 2023 is going to really be so much about community, building community and creating space for community. And this is really the first step for me. So let me know what you think. Jump on board. Let's connect on Telegram. So thanks again to those beautiful souls who joined the listener party. Stay tuned for more events. I'll definitely be promoting them on the podcast, also on Instagram. Thank you to those who follow me on Instagram. I know I've been a bit erratic with my posting this past month. It's been such a busy time for me in my world outside of this podcast. So I am looking forward to creating some new, refreshed structure in the new year. But for now, I think it's time to share this beautiful solstice activation channeled from the Akashic Records this week with you. Let's journey. Question: what is the sacred message for the collective on this day of the solstice? Answer: we ask you to share with your community the message of love, of forgiveness, of joy, to embody the Christ frequency at this time of Christmas or Christmas. What does it mean to embody this frequency? It is to think, to speak, to act in love, with love, of love, for love. To allow the heart to overcome the mind in its open expansion. To allow love to fill your energetic field, to colour your aura beautiful hues of soft pinks and deep greens, to expand and project this beautiful light outward, to generously share your light with all those you encounter, to touch those in your vicinity with your unique light. Where you are, today is the day of the greatest light, when the light overcomes all in its power and expanse. You have witnessed people sharing their light today, expanding and projecting their light without prejudice, acting on heartfelt intentions. This is the spirit of the longest day, to allow yourself to receive as much light as possible, to give all the light you have to others who benefit from sharing it with you. Light does not exist in isolation. It is an expression of source. The highest light is the light of God, Creator, Source. It holds codes of love, expansion, beauty, growth. It powers life. The light you each hold is a part of the greater, highest light. It is a fragment of Source. The heart holds the power of the sun. It holds life. The heart is the portal of light, transference of light between souls in human form. Through love, we share our light. This is enlightenment. This sacred day holds a powerful key. It holds the energy of full enlightenment. Drink up this light, for it is beauty. For those in the opposite polarity, this message remains. Understand that light is empowered by the dark. This sacred balance is required to create and sustain light. On this longest night, pay reverence to the darkness and its space. Give thanks for its role in duality. Find gratitude for the presence of shadow in your life and its role in holding the space for your enlightenment. Honour those nocturnal animals who are at home in the dark. Reflect on your journey through shadow this year. What is it within you that has risen up to seek the light? Give thanks to your shadows, for they are the key to your enlightenment. The light in the dark in the light. End transmission. What a beautiful message. It made reference to an experience I had on that day, earlier that day. I had to run around doing lots of errands, picking up click and collect orders from department stores for a project that's happening at home. And it could have been quite a stressful day, but I was so happy. I had recently gotten my car back from the mechanic just in time for Christmas, so it was running really well. I was happy being on the road, just getting stuff done after being without my car and feeling a little bit kind of trapped. And I didn't find this at all stressful, even going to shopping centres, busy shopping centres during, the week before Christmas. So I was in quite a good energy doing these errands, and I went to a shopping centre that people would probably describe as in a fairly sketchy part of town, and that stuff doesn't faze me at all. But I wasn't expecting to have such a beautiful encounter with the light, as they reminded me during this channeled message. And it was such a simple encounter, but it was so beautiful and made me so happy. It really made my heart sing. I was laughing joyously for minutes afterwards. But I had this large heavy box in my trolley that I had to kind of maneuver out and into the back of my car. I drive a van, so into the back of my van. And I was struggling a bit. It was quite obvious. I'm not the tallest or strongest person, so it was pretty obvious. And it had been raining. There was actually flash flooding in our town earlier that day, not that long before I hit the shops, and it was such strange patchy weather. There was rain, really crazy heavy rain in some parts, and in other parts very close by, there was just nothing. So I'd traveled through heavy rain and then beautiful sunshine to get to this shopping centre car park, and it was raining when I went in, but when I came out it had finally cleared, and there were these two young guys on their bicycles just cruising around the car park. They looked like they were just kind of bored and looking for stuff to do. And they spotted me and they pull up really quick next to me, kind of yelling as they went, "Do you need a hand?" Such an Aussie thing to say. And normally, this is, I guess, a quality of being a millennial woman. Normally I'd say, "No, I've got this. I can manage." This time, I was so open to receiving. I just said, "Yes, please. That would be so amazing if you could help me," because I was struggling a little. I definitely was capable of doing it, but why would I resist having someone help me? And so I said, "Yes, please." And so the guy immediately dropped his bike and just put it straight in the car, like it was his duty. It was very night, kind of tarot deck night energy. I would say the Knight of Cups. Just in heartfelt intention, just wanted to help. And I thought his friend was just hanging out behind me while this other guy was putting the box in my car. Little did I know, I turned around to go to my driver's side, but before that to take the trolley and put it back in the trolley bay, and his friend had already taken my trolley while he was riding his bike. So he was riding his bike and in his spare hand wheeling this trolley over to the trolley bay for me. And I just couldn't help but burst into laughter. And I was like, "Wow, you're amazing. Thank you." And he started laughing too. And he was like, "Merry Christmas." And it was such a simple experience to be a part of. Nothing groundbreaking, but it made me so aware of the light and so grateful for the light. It's those small gestures and simple moments that allow us to feel the light, to experience other people as fragments of source. And I was so happy to have had that experience. And even before that, the day before when I went to collect my van from the mechanic, he's obviously really stressed. He's got a few more jobs to do before he can call it a year, and close up shop for a few weeks and have a well-deserved holiday. He's such a good bloke, and he spent so much time with me, making sure I understood what was wrong with my car, teaching me about what had happened to it and what needed to be repaired, making sure that I knew what I needed to work on my own, because with some issues that I have power to fix myself. So just this beautiful energy of sharing and making sure I was okay. And I've just felt such an openness in the collective field in this past couple of weeks. It's such a beautiful shift of energy. And I really do feel like, at least in Australia, where we were heading into the solstice, which happened a couple of days ago now, it was probably because we're all readying ourselves to receive the most light, to embody the greatest amount of light we get to in every yearly cycle. What a beautiful time. I've never been so aware of that in my timeline since I've been here incarnated on earth, the importance of receiving and allowing oneself to receive the light at this time of year, because it's so powerful and holds so much love, as the message explained, and how the heart is the portal for that portal of transference of light between each other, and not even just between humans, between you and your partner, between you and your kids or your family, or some beautiful stranger on the street that you have an interaction with. It's also with nature, with the world, with the natural world, that our hearts are portals of transference, of love, which is carried through light. So I really loved this message. And I also loved how it was balanced for those who are in the Northern Hemisphere, who have journeyed through the time of darkness, that darkness is essential. It's actually the space for the light to exist. And sometimes we forget that. Sometimes we feel like it's something to be reckoned with because it's all about shadow. But shadow is where our wisdom is held. Shadow is actually where we get to understand our capacity for love, understand the job of our hearts as portals of transcendence and transference. So much beauty in this message. So I know this has been delivered after the fact, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think the reason we experience this one moment of solstice, we experience it twice a year, but that one moment during our yearly cycle of the most light and then the most dark, is because that is the polarized kind of extreme of our experience here within the duality of light and dark. And we can anchor into this energy, this understanding, this wisdom around why the solstice exists, what it's here to teach us. We can anchor that wisdom and access it at other times of the year when we need to be reminded of what it feels like to receive the most light we can receive from our beautiful source energy provider, the sun. I think it's also cool to reflect on the other forms of light that exist. So obviously, in the dark, we are able to receive the beautiful illumination, inner illumination from the moon, and the extremely activating energy of the stars. They are both unique forms of light, very different to the light we receive from the sun. But in the dark, you know, there can be places we can go in the world where there is no light at all. Devoted initiates will retreat to caves for this experience, and it's because they wish to become more closely acquainted with their own inner light. They wish to understand their own inner light and cultivate their inner flame by retreating somewhere dark like a cave. And so it's good to also reflect on that inner light, which still exists even when everything is dark, even in the darkest night. Full cloud cover, no moon or stars to be seen. Our inner light still exists, and it holds the frequency of love. Lastly, I want to reflect on the very first part of the message, talking about the Christ frequency of Christmas. I know for some people, perhaps they don't quite resonate with religious terminology or religious icons like Christ or Jesus. I'm not afraid of this myself. I've gone full circle around the wheel on this, having, grown up within the Catholic schooling system, leaving to basically become almost an atheist, I'd say, and then coming back to the point where now these kinds of words don't offend me at all. I just take them as they are. So this time of Christmas, really, it's a time of light, I guess. Light being born in the dark, light being embodied in its fullness. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world and the different Christmas experience you have. Those in the Northern Hemisphere would just, who've never been down south for a Christmas, would find it just so weird and foreign that we celebrate Christmas in the height of summer. It's usually really hot, and we have barbecues down here instead of, roast dinners and stuff. A lot of people still have roast dinners, but it's a little bit different. But what is common, no matter where you are, is that this time is available to us to decide whether we want to receive love. And like I said earlier, Christmas can be a little bit of a stressful time. It can be triggering for a lot of people who don't have the best relationships with their families. It can be annoying if you're not really into consumerism or find Christmas traditions a bit corny or trite. However, it's a rare thing that people come together to celebrate. It's been interesting. I've been watching the World Cup, and despite all of the controversy around that particular World Cup, to see the amount of people come together in Argentina to celebrate this team, this incredible feat. It's amazing. There's not many events that can bring together people in that way across different, all kinds of differences. And so I think the broad message was basically an invitation for us to just, if at all possible, drop any of the usual pretense around having our walls up, in engaging with family, preempting discomfort or distress, and actually opening ourselves up to receive love. And it starts with us being prepared to give that to act, as it said, with heartfelt intention. So if it is possible to lean into that openness of heart and embody the frequency basically of love, even if it's hard to give that out, at least allow yourself, however you can, however you're able, to receive that from others. Allow yourself to feel joy in just the simple coming together of family. It's a powerful time to actually engage in forgiveness, as it suggested. So there is a lot of joy that can come out of choosing to forgive, actively choosing and intending to forgive, even if it's just for a moment. I think it was a beautiful message that the intentional act of aligning with love and allowing oneself to receive love results in a changing of your aura that can project outward and touch others. So even if it's hard with your words to do that, just holding that intention at a frequency level has a power to reach others through your energy field, which is a really beautiful thing. And the key to all of this, as it said, is to allow the heart to overcome the mind. so much of our expectations come from our mind. They don't start in our heart. They come from our mind and we project them onto others. This is a really big time when we project expectations onto others, and we can feel disappointed or frustrated or overwhelmed or let down. See if you can allow your heart to overcome your mind and release those expectations and just open yourself up to receive. So it's a short but sweet episode today. This is the last episode of 2022. It's been my honor and my pleasure to host this podcast this year, to be able to share my perspective and my story with you. I'm so grateful for the safety of the space that you, the listeners, provide me to do this. It's been such a gift for me, and that's really why I'm so motivated to share this space with you all and create a more interactive community where we can connect with each other on a deeper level via this new chat. So I'll be taking a week out to focus on myself, on my family, on the farm. We have some new arrivals today. Some sheep arrived. I have not looked after sheep before, so this is a beautiful learning experience for me. I'm excited to get to know them a bit better. I'm also taking a little time to work on some amazing new content for 2023. I'm putting a big focus on health and physical wellness and well-being to kick off 2023. I've got some great interviews and conversations planned, and also getting back into some deep dives into some really big subjects. So I'm excited to do all that. I'm super excited for all the expansion to come next year. I wish you all a beautiful Christmas or holiday period and a really, really wonderful new year. I think this new year holds a lot of power. I've felt within the collective, the spiritual collective community in the past few years, a reluctance to align with the Gregorian calendar, more of a yearning to align with astrological new year and kind of the natural cycles of the year. However, I think this year is a bit different. There's a real resonance with the end of this year and the beginning of the new year. I'm definitely leaning into that myself. So I encourage you to be mindful of that, perhaps do some ritual around the ending of this cycle and the starting anew. I'll be doing that myself. So thank you so, so much for allowing me to journey with you this year. I wish you peace, I wish you love, and I wish you all the blessings as we head into 2023. Thanks again for joining me, and I will see you in the new year.